Hello everyone, it is update time, update time, update time. Welcome back. Thank you so much for all of you that have been so supportive in one way or another. I truly do appreciate it. And this update is going to be very interesting. I'm sure it's going to be lengthy, so I'm warning you in advance. But I believe we're at about month 7 in this journey. And for those of you that have not seen any of the previous videos, this journey is talking about thyroid, suspected thyroid cancer that was diagnosed in 2015. 2015. So we'll just get right into it. So I am not doing well at all. I have not been consistent with my protocol, with my regime for several reasons. The biggest challenge for me right now is just that I've been bombarded with so many different things, and I feel that my voice sounds a bit raspy, and that is because my throat is so sore right now. It is really sore. My immune system definitely is low, very low. I can tell by the way my body feels, the fact that feels like I'm coming down with something. My immune system is down, and it's down for a lot of different reasons. Now, I know that there are a lot of you out there that are really like, supportive in a sense where why aren't you keeping up with your regimen? So I'm going to explain it so that everyone hears all at once, so that I don't have to send different messages to different people. So, or the same message, I should say, to different people. So, like I said, a lot has been going on right now. I am currently sitting in the hospital with my son. He's been here since Monday, and we have yet to leave this lovely establishment. Now, in everything that I'm going to tell you, there's always a blessing, because God, man, God is awesome. So, I am I'm not worried about my son. I was never worried about him, even bringing him to the hospital. But there are like so many things that are going on right now. So I know that that has a lot to do with it. I have not been drinking enough water. There are days where I will go with just taking a sip of water, and that is not good. I really need to, and I know that. I'm not eating properly, especially within this last week. Sometimes I'll have one meal a day, and it's not, the best. I don't like to eat out. For those of you that know me, I don't like to eat out anymore because I don't know what people are putting in their meals. I don't use tap water. I don't use like a lot of things, but I found that for this last week, I've had to eat out, unfortunately, being in the hospital. So my days have been basically, I work, of course, and then from work, I'm with my son in the hospital, and then if I can, I go home and check on the other two children that are at home, and then I come back to the hospital, and then I work, and it's a vicious cycle, for lack of better words. It's really a challenge. I am doing this for the most part, physically anyways, by myself, but I do know that God is truly amazing. I'm not able to like prepare my healthful meals like I usually would when I'm at home, and so I'm definitely feeling it. I'm not able to take my supplements because a lot of times the supplements are at home, and then when I get home, I'm just focused on making sure that the kids are okay and getting back here so that I can speak to the surgeon, so that I can speak to the doctors to ensure that everything is going well with my little lamb. So it's been a bit of a challenge, and I live really far away from my support system, so to speak. And the ones that are close by are busy, dealing with their own stuff. And I'm not really one to like to put my issues on other people. So I just try to, yeah, just try to deal with it by myself, because I mean, I've done it for this long. So anyways, it's interesting because on Sunday, when I came home, I came home to, I'm not being honest, it was Monday. Monday, when I came home from work, I came home to pretty much three sick children. So my daughter is getting over, she was really, really sick over the weekend, and she's just kind of getting over whatever that bug was. And then my one son had a high fever. The other one is like crawling on his knees, complaining of stomach ache. So the one that was complaining of the stomach ache, I kind of thought that he was just over exaggerating, because he is kind of a hypochondriac. So I kind of took whatever he was saying with a grain of salt, and I was like, maybe you just have gas pain, stop being dramatic, type thing. I didn't say that to him, I said it in my head. So he's hearing this for the first time, and as he's right across the room from me and smiling.
Hey, y'all,
The other one though that had the fever, I was like, okay, so I got to deal with this fever. So I, of course, prayed, because I'm like, Lord, I have no idea. It's not that I have no idea what to do, but I don't know what the reason for the fever is. So do I help the fever along by by inducing it more, or do I break it? Like, just so many different things going through my mind. In any case, I did a hot cold treatment on him, and then I had one, not bulb, I guess, is it a clove or a peg of garlic? And I was like, Lord, this is all I have in this house, garlic wise, you gotta bless it. Because I know that if there's a fever, there's some kind of infection or something like that that the body's trying to fight. So I'm like, okay, so he needs some sort of antibiotic. This is what I'm thinking. So I made him, like I said, the hot and cold treatment, but it couldn't, for whatever reason, my tap wasn't running hot water. So it was running really warm water. So he got a warm and cool treatment. And then we got him back to the bed, prayed with him, excuse me. And one of the things I did while I prayed with him was I asked him to confess any sins that he may have had, and just ask God to heal him. That was his prayer. But I didn't ask him to confess anything out loud, just pray, with it within himself and God. And then I finished up the prayer when he said he was finished confessing, and asking for forgiveness. And then I we got him, dressed in everything that we possibly could. I threw the heat up. I know other people in the home were pretty uncomfortable because it was really, really hot, but I needed him to sweat whatever it was out. And so we wrapped him up in a few blankets, well, with socks and layers of, shirts and pants and stuff. And then I gave it, well, prior to wrapping him up, I gave him this tea. So I made a really, really potent tea with a clove of garlic. I did ginger, I did some lemon, and I did some manuka honey, a little bit of manuka honey in it. And it was really, really concentrated though. So I gave him that, just 1 cup, because I could only make one with the little thing of garlic, as strong as I wanted it anyways. And we prayed, gave it to him, and got him off to bed. Now to deal with the next one. So here he is complaining of stomach ache, and I thought he had gas. So I asked him what he ate. I asked him about his, bowel movements, went into nurse mode and asked him about all these different things. And I'm like, based on where he said the pain was, I thought appendix, but it was more medial. So rather than it being more so to the right lower part of his abdomen, it was more lower. It was like his upper pubic area, that it right in the center. So I'm like, I don't know. And I didn't want to press on it, because if it was his appendix, I didn't want to rupture it or anything. So I didn't, palpate or anything like that. I just kept asking him to kind of describe the pain, and it was coming and going. Anyways, he was throwing up, and I was like, okay, I made him some ginger tea. I prayed and I made him some ginger tea. At this point, I am so tired. I can't even think straight. Just came off of a 12-hour shift. I'm so tired. Like mentally, I'm drained. Physically, I'm drained. I did eat well that day for sure, but I was tired. I was really really tired. So I'm like, I don't know what to do, Lord. I just made some ginger tea, gave him some ginger tea, and then sent him to bed. So while during the night, he woke up like 3 times and he was vomiting, and I'm like, if it's gas and he's vomiting, so I kept asking him to just kind of tell me what's in your vomit. Is there anything? He's like, no, it's just water. It's just water. So I'm like, I don't know. Something doesn't seem right. So I usually get up for work at like 4:15 in the morning, and for whatever reason, my alarm was not set. This is not my norm. My alarm was not set. I got up at 5:36. I remember 5:36, and I looked at the time, and then I said to myself, or the thought came to me, don't go to work, take him to the hospital. And so I called into work and, showered, got dressed or whatever. Didn't grab anything to eat because I'm like, 5:30 in the morning, it shouldn't be too bad. And if it's his appendix, they're going to see him right away. So it shouldn't take too long. Well, we were in ER for 12 hours, legit. We did not we, he did not get admitted until about 5:30, roughly 5:30. He got admitted to the hospital. So at this point, I am so hungry because I didn't eat anything the evening before when I'd come home from work. I'm tired. I didn't have any of my supplements. I didn't have any water, even though I brought water with me. I couldn't eat. I couldn't drink. I don't know. I just had no, it's not that I didn't have any appetite, but I just kept, I wasn't worried. I was never worried, so I wasn't stressed about that. I guess I just kept thinking, okay, so if he ends up in hospital, I just all of the different things that I would have to do, and trying to figure out, okay, how am I going to get all these things done? I'm one person, right? So anyways, my so he gets admitted now, and the doctor says, yep, it's appendicitis, and we're gonna have to do surgery. So I'm like, this was a really a really challenging test for me, because for those of you that have seen my previous videos, I do not believe that God put anything in our body that he wants us to take out. So like as in organ wise, and I believe that every organ, no matter how big or how small, serves its purpose. So I was like, are there any other options? So the other option was to do antibiotic treatment. Those of you that know me know how I feel about antibiotics. So I was like, oh, there has to be another way, like any other way. So I thought to myself, take him home and try, various natural treatments. And then I thought, I don't, like off the top of my head, I can't think of any various natural treatment. Then I started thinking, this is really serious because it could rupture. And it's not that I lack faith or trust in God at all. I guess I was looking at the fact that I felt like I felt overwhelmed. Like I had so much to do, and I'm one person, and I'm not capable of doing all of it. I'm not. And we prayed in the doctor's office, my son and I, and he was like, no, he's not doing surgery, which my son, love him. But then the only other option would be to do antibiotics, and I hate antibiotics. I do. It's, anyways, he decided that he was going to do the antibiotics after we prayed. So I said, all right. So we started the antibiotic treatment. They gave him some stuff for pain, which again, I'm so against all of these things. I really am. But it was done. And so basically what they're doing is they're just monitoring him to see if his white blood cell count is dropping, and if it isn't, then only other option would be to do surgery. So from Monday since now, I've been pretty much living in the hospital. I've gone home yesterday since, and showered, got some uniforms for work, so on and so forth. Checked up on the other two, and have just been pretty much checking up on them through text messaging. It's been a real challenge. So, and then when I do go home, I'm not even thinking about, grabbing my supplements. Like, that is nowhere near my mind. It's just, okay, check on these kids. I have to run back because I want to make sure I speak to the doctors, know what's going on, get test results so that I can make, more informed decisions for my child. So it's been a struggle. And as a result, like as you can see, the swelling is there. I know that it looks like it is on this side. It's not. It's just the angle, but this definitely is there. The swelling is increasing. There is underlying stress. I am a little frustrated because it's hard. It's hard doing all of this on my own. It really, really is. It really is. And the people that I know I can count on for help, that they're far. They don't live, they don't live a stone throw away. So it's really challenging. And I guess what else is challenging is the people that I think I can count on for help. I can't, because, everybody's dealing with their own stuff. So it's just, it's hard, people. It's really hard. And my sister had told me once before that I'm not, the prettiest when I cry. So I'm really trying to fight back the tears. But it's really, really hard. So keep your girl in prayer, please. Like I said, I'm not doing too well. I know that my immune system is really down right now. My son, I know he feels bad. He keeps saying, thanks, mommy. And he keeps like, looking at me. He's like, mommy, are you okay? Are you okay? And he didn't do anything wrong. It's not him. And he shouldn't have to be made to feel bad. You know what I mean? Because he didn't do anything wrong. He's being a human being, and this happened. The devil's a liar. So the beauty in all of this is it's so interesting because I started a new position, and the base of the position is at a different hospital. So I work for pretty much all 5 of my hospital's sites. I work at all of the sites. But I'm at a new base now, which is in Ajax, and we live in Oshawa. So the hospital that my son's in is in Oshawa. So I emailed my manager and I'm like, listen, my son's in the hospital and I won't be able to make it to, I'm just doing orientation right now because I literally just started. I think yesterday was my 4th orientation shift. So I just started. So I'm like, oh, here I am calling in 3 days in. So anyways, I called her or I emailed her, and she emailed me back at like 7:30 in the night. And she was like, listen, if your son's in Oshawa, we can do an orientation shift for you, or we can have you work in Oshawa for your next shift, which would have been my Tuesday shift. And that can only be God. You know what I mean? That can only be God. Like, God knows. I don't. Anyways, so I was able to work in the same hospital that my son was in, and it was like an orientation shift. So I didn't have, responsibility of my own that I really needed to take care of in my work environment. I was just kind of shadowing somebody else. So anytime I needed to run downstairs just to check on him, I was able to do that. I came down and had lunch with him. All of my breaks I spent with him, and then I sleep in the room. So I ran home after work, showered, came right back, and then I had to work again last night. So I'd worked 12 hours, I was off for 4 hours, and then I worked again last night, and I'm working again tonight. But now I'm just sitting here waiting to speak to the doctor because I missed the doctor yesterday to find out what are we doing, like what's the plan. I need to know what they're thinking of doing, and what my so I can know what the options are and what I'm gonna do regarding this little peanut. So this is why, one of the reasons, and then there's school, and then I have papers that are due. So it's like, when am I going to be able to really sit down and like focus on my paper? I was able to reach out to my professor and just get an extension, so I'm grateful for that. But the extension is for Monday, and I work tonight, and then church on Saturday with church activities, and then Sunday I work. So it's like, when am I gonna sit down and get this paper done? So it's been challenging, and I don't even know, like I at this point I don't know what to do. There's nothing really, like, this is all out of my hands. I've been praying, and I'm not, God has honestly been very, very helpful, because I'm sure this could be so much worse. It could be so, yeah, it could be a lot worse. It really could be a lot worse. So I'm so grateful for his help. And every day, like, I go downstairs and I buy something to eat. I'm like, Lord, I don't want to eat this stuff. I don't know what else to do. Please have mercy. And it's like I'm spending unnecessary money that I didn't budget to spend. It's really, really frustrating. And as much as people say, oh, this is vegan or this is plant-based, it's not. It is not. So like I said, I'm just sitting here. This is the update. I don't feel very well. Like I said, my throat hurts, but it's not that type of pain. It's honestly sore. My throat is sore, and I'm supposed to be singing as a singing evangelist. The last day is this upcoming Saturday. Haven't practiced any of my songs. It's been a mess, and I know where it's coming from, and I think that's why I'm not fearful. I'm not worried, but I just want to do my part. I want to do my part because I can't expect God to bless no effort. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna send this message out. Hopefully, it finds you in finds you in great health. I also want to sidebar something. Help each other out. I know that we're all dealing with our own issues. I know that we have our own problems, but honestly, when you put yourself aside for just a moment and actually ask someone, like, do you need help? Because you never know what people are going through, and it's especially challenging for I'm gonna say single mothers. It's really challenging for single mothers. I mean, they're not the only one that is challenging for. It's challenging for everyone. I know, because these are the times that we're living in. But I'm speaking from my own perspective as a single mother. It's really challenging. It's hard to be everything to everyone, especially when you yourself have your own, health issues that you are trying to combat, especially naturally. So I'm gonna try to get back into it, try to get back to the gym, but I first gotta make sure that this young man is okay, and try to get back to drinking the proper amount of water, try to get back to, taking the supplements and on time, try to get back to eating properly. It's just, yeah, it's a challenge, but I don't doubt God's word. He said he's going to heal me, and he knew that all of this was going to happen, and he's definitely provided ways. And like I said, for all of you that have been supportive, I am so grateful, and don't think for a second that I will ever forget what what you what you guys have done for me, like the support, the love. I'm truly grateful. So that's my update for now. I know it was kind of more focused on circumstances more than what's going on, but I believe that this has a big part to play in it because life, throws curveballs and you gotta kind of have to know how to catch it. So thanks again for everything. I do encourage you again to just help each other out. Stop being selfish. The world doesn't revolve around you. It's not all about you. And trust me, I'm telling myself this too. Yeah, just help each other out. Sometimes you got to put yourself on the back burner and help somebody else out. Okay? Well, lots of love to you all. You will, by God's grace, hear from me soon. And my next update, by God's grace, is going to be how much better I'm doing. I'm back on track. And all that God has taught me in this process about time management and planning, etc., etc. Have a wonderful evening.